Welcome to another educational video about screen printing by Catspit Productions. Today I just wanted to take a quick step backwards and take a look at the flash cure unit because I covered many other parts, many other pieces of equipment like the dryer and the press and the exposure unit, but we never looked at this. And I know that we've seen it in a couple of my videos for print run demos where we did a couple of multicolors and I showed you how the flash was used, but a lot of people ask me about curing Plastisol ink and ask if they can use a flash cure unit to cure their shirts, and yeah, you certainly can. The flash cure unit basically is just an infrared panel, the same type of infrared panel that you would find in an infrared dryer, a belt dryer. Okay, it's one of those little panels in here, and it's hooked up to an outlet. This particular unit doesn't have a thermostat or anything like that, so you just plug it in and it cranks out. So you adjust the heat basically by the height of the flash unit. So the height of the flash unit in relation to your palette will determine how fast the shirt will flash cure. So on some days when it's colder than others, I may have this lower to the palette. When it's in the middle of the summer and it's above 100 degrees, I may have it higher. Okay, so these are very cool. This is the best thing to use, in my opinion, to flash cure. But on YouTube, I've seen a lot of other people using different things, and many people ask me about that. And one of the things I get asked about is a blow dryer. Can you use a blow dryer or a hair dryer to flash cure? And well, you probably can. I know there are people out there, probably some of you watching right now, who have used a blow dryer. But I would suggest if you're going to use a blow dryer, you may as well go out to like Ace Hardware or wherever and get a little Black & Decker heat gun. I think they're probably about the same as far as cost, maybe even cheaper, because it's just a little tool. And you might even be able to find a no-name brand, who knows. So you've got these little Black & Decker heat guns, and you can use these, and these are way better than a hair dryer. Now, they're not going to be as consistent as a panel because it's only a little spot, right? And you have to go like this. So these tend to be really good for like small prints. You can actually use these to flash cure. That's why I have one. I use this as a tool sometimes for Crest prints. Instead of using the whole flash unit, I'll just have this thing running on the side and I pick it up and do a little quickie over a small print and then continue to the next print. So a heat gun, this one's a heat and strip, Black & Decker heat and strip. This is kind of a cool tool to have for flash curing, doing test prints and things like that. Okay, and I also have seen people use space heaters to flash cure. And I've seen some videos about using space heaters to flash cure where you get the space heater and you got to open it up and take out the little switch that prevents, like they have a switch so that if you turn the unit like this, which is the way you want to use it, it turns the heat off. So I found this little unit, and I actually use this to heat my apartment. I have a little area where it gets cold, so I don't use this, but I thought this would be cool to show you guys out there who are trying to do some garage boy techniques, because this is a little sunbeam. I got this at Walmart, and it's a tiny little sunbeam. It was $15, and this thing cranks the heat out. And it's really, really dangerous because if you turn it sideways, it still works. So you don't have to do anything to this one. If you can find this little mini sunbeam at Walmart, you could actually use this to flash cure. Now remember, when you flash cure, the idea is that you're trying to get the surface layer of the ink film, as they call it, the surface film of the ink, you're trying to get that up to near 320 degrees so that it's dry to the touch, right? But you're not going to get the whole layer of the ink up to 320 degrees. It's just kind of the surface. And that brings us to this. We've also seen people use work lights to flash cure. And these things are pretty hot. And they probably work. I've never, I don't know. We did some thermal testing on one of these the other day, and the thing gets pretty hot. It actually makes the shirt pretty hot. What I found is that, though, you want to take the glass out because the glass is kind of like an insulator and cuts back a little bit of the heat that's produced by the bulb. And So, you know, it also has a UV filter. Most of these have UV filters in the glass for some reason. So if you take the glass out, it gets hotter, and you know, maybe it'll be a little bit better to work with. But remember that when you're curing Plastisol inks, it's always very handy to have a temp gun. Make sure that your ink is the whole ink layer is reaching a temperature of 320 degrees Fahrenheit for a legitimate cure on Plastisol inks. That's the bottom line. No matter what heat source or flash cure source you use, is just make sure that it reaches that temperature for a final cure, and you'll be okay. So a temp gun, like I've mentioned before, you know, is a really cool thing to have. It's a good investment. I think they're only like $30 to $40, and you might even be able to get them cheaper. So, you know, get one of these, and it might help you be able to work with other things if you don't have the luxury of having a flash cure unit or a belt dryer. Okay, so thanks again for watching. I appreciate everybody's support. Rate 5 stars, and please subscribe.